Hey, Sean, welcome to the show.
Rachel, I'm so fired up to be here. How's it going?
So good. And I'm really excited that we get to chat. So, you don't know this about me, but I went through your YouTube course like 3 or 4 years ago back in my other business. And you helped me grow that to over 1,000 subscribers and close to 400,000 views. So, I've been a fan of yours for a long time. And I'm really excited that we get a chance to do this interview.
And I'm so pumped for today's interview as well. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So, tell us, what's your story? How did you get started in doing what you're doing?
Yeah, today my passion is helping leaders build their influence and their income with YouTube and social video. But I got into video all the way back in 2003. So I'm coming up on doing kind of like video production for over 17 years. And for me, I was volunteering at my local church in a small town an hour north of Seattle, Washington. And the youth pastor handed me a video camera and said, "Hey, start making some videos for youth group Wednesday nights." And I like to tell people all the time, your first videos are your worst videos because those videos were absolutely terrible. But it was such a blessing because I was making those in 2003, like before YouTube started. And so by 2007, we started a YouTube channel for our church, which is crazy because usually churches are behind as far as technology and whatnot. But that got me kind of into the YouTube world early. So then eventually I launched a business where I was helping business owners and like local restaurants do social media marketing and build their websites and as well as do YouTube kind of stuff early on. And then fast forward to today, now I help others really master these platforms. It's been my passion to be a player coach. I'm still a YouTuber. I review tech and cameras. And before I ever taught about this, I built a 6-figure income with affiliate marketing and YouTube, talking about tech on YouTube, and that was the niche. And now we help people through our training, and we have a live event and our book, #1 best-selling YouTube strategy book in the world called YouTube Secrets. So it's been quite the journey.
That's amazing. It's crazy that you started back in 2003 with video. So 17 years. That's crazy. Okay. So when you're starting your YouTube channel, you mentioned having a niche in the tech space. How niche should you be when it comes to starting your channel?
I mean, I think it's one of those online marketing best practices where they often will say the riches are in the niches,
Hmm.
and you need to start small to get big. I think what happens is a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we have so many ideas or so many things we want to talk about. And I think actually that is something that could be very much embraced in your future, but it's not where you want to start. We see that a lot of people start in a very specific niche and then eventually their world gets bigger. It kind of makes me think of like Dave Ramsey. A lot of people know him because of his radio show. He helps people get out of debt, Financial Peace University. And he started with just one thing, just getting people out of debt, just talking about personal finance. But now he's got 6 different podcasts on the top 100 business podcasts
He
talking
has
about.
6?
He's
How
got
did I
Christy
not know
Wright
that?
on like she's talking about female entrepreneurship. Rachel Cruz, his daughter's talking about
Yeah.
other financial stuff. He's got his show. You've got Entree Leadership. So now
Yeah.
it's not personal finance, that's leadership. But he didn't start that way.
Hmm.
So you got to start small to get big. And I found that a lot of times, especially on YouTube, people will get known for one thing. The co-author of YouTube Secrets, Benji Travis, he and his wife started on YouTube. They've got a vlog channel. They've got, they vlog their daily life, and they work with brands like Target and Dove, and it's led to all of this, but it didn't start that way. She actually started doing makeup reviews and hair tutorials, something searchable, something specific, something niche down. And then eventually people became interested in the person, and it led to something else. You could take this off of YouTube. One of my mentors and good friend, Shalene Johnson, is very well known as a fitness celebrity for PIO, right? For Shalene Extreme, for Turbo Jam, for these fitness programs that she built. Well, fast forward to today, she's got the 131 method, the 131 diet. She's got the Marketing Impact Academy that's teaching business and marketing. She's got Smart Success that's teaching personal development, but she didn't start that way. And so you need to start small to get big. So absolutely, I think you want to niche down even and be disciplined as an entrepreneur, as a girl boss, and then realize that when your world starts small and you're faithful with that, it'll get bigger because he who is faithful with little will be given more, right? So
Hmm. Awesome. So let's say you start niche down. Is it okay to broaden out as your influence grows on that same channel? Or if you want to talk about something else, should you start a different channel?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, especially as we go into 2020 and beyond on YouTube. More than ever before, it's important to have a single value proposition channel. So what that means is that it's really good to have a channel that people here's a way to put it. Never upload a video that your subscribers didn't subscribe for.
Hmm.
And so, what can happen is you have to determine if you're the value proposition. Meaning, if we study the largest YouTuber, independent YouTuber on the platform, his name's PewDiePie. He started gaming and he started playing Call of Duty, and then he started playing like kind of scarier, like horror-based games. And that was kind of a thing that blew up for him because nobody else was doing it, and he would get scared as he saw these scenes. But now he's got like a news show called Pew News. He reviews memes. He still plays games. He basically does whatever he wants. But here's the thing, he's the value proposition.
Hmm.
We come to watch him because of his personality and what he's doing. Now, we have to have kind of sober judgment of ourselves to say, well, that would be great if we could just talk about whatever and do whatever. But there's still power on YouTube where YouTube wants to deliver content. Why did the person subscribe in the first place? If they subscribe to a lot of personality based lifestyle influencer type channels, that's great if that's your gifting and that works. But typically, if you start a cooking channel, you should do recipes and cooking consistently, and you should never deviate from that. Furthermore, on Think Media, even we're about to start a second channel called Think Marketing because we started doing a lot of camera tutorials, a lot of lighting tutorials. Now I weave in even some business advice, and technically that's two different things. And I'll be
Hmm.
honest, it's hurt us because what ends up happening is it kind of confuses the YouTube algorithm because some people go, well, that's cool, man. You're doing business stuff, but I just want the camera and tech tutorials. So it's up to you. Certainly, you can blend some things in. And I think you have to be strategic about your value proposition, about why people subscribed, about your long term vision, and about understanding how the YouTube algorithm works. You need to kind of know that information and then make the best strategic decision for yourself.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And that's cool that you're starting another channel about marketing. That
Yeah,
would
just
be
to kind
awesome.
of be a little more clear, and because we want to even talk about things like where we host our online courses and how to set up, like we use Kajabi, like how to set up Kajabi pages or how to do some back end stuff with paid traffic and things like that. That's way off brand for Think Media. So even though we have the one channel, we have to be realistic and clear that that's if we upload those videos, that's not what people subscribed for. So we need another place for that. Now, the caution there is someone might go, okay, cool. Well, I've got like these 3 or 4 buckets of content in my business. I'm going to start 4 channels. Do not do that unless,
That's a lot.
yeah, unless you're at a point of scale where you've got team, you've got people helping you. And so you also want to be, we've heard this phrase, you can do anything, but you can't do everything.
Yep.
So you do have to really stay focused. It's one of the most important things for entrepreneurs, and we struggle with that. However, I believe that actually you can do everything, just not all at once. And so when we're starting, if you will, the second channel, it's not all at once. It's happening after years and team and systems and momentum and getting kind of established and comfortable that we know we can stay consistent and keep the quality high on one channel and then move into a second one. And we haven't even started it yet. So we're still ramping up with smart timing to make sure we don't kill ourselves and the bandwidth and the timing is right.
Got it. How often should you upload?
You got to upload at least once a week.
Okay.
I think that if you're doing any kind of content marketing, which everybody listening should, because I believe that content is relevancy in today's marketplace, you need to upload one significant post per week, no matter what you're doing. We're talking about YouTube, but if you're a blogger, you need to be writing, and I'm not saying a post a week, I'm saying a significant post per week.
Mhm.
You need to be contributing thought leadership, something valuable, something useful, at least 52 times a year. That's the gateway to entry into this industry. And I get it, you might be juggling and there's a side hustle and you could do your best and doing some, once a month is better than not at all if you're ramping up and learning and studying and doing whatever you're doing. But again, let's just go back to if you're taking this seriously and if you're going to move from dabbling into dominating, it's got to be at least once a week. Now, additionally, there's a great video we have a second channel called Video Influencers, and Matt Gielen studies a lot of the YouTube algorithm and whatnot. He's discovered that 3 a week is actually kind of, if YouTube's a major strategy for you, a really good way to trigger the algorithm with about 48 hours apart because your video stays in browse features for about 48 hours, then you drop another one, and it's kind of like keeping you top of mind the whole week. But I don't ever encourage people to increase their uploads unless they can keep their quality high. And as you know, even just doing one significant post a week, that's a lot. Like it could take a lot of energy, and it's not really about the production value. I don't mean this thing needs to be edited for hours on end. It's the content value. It's thinking that you've really taught something, they've really learned something, that you've really added value, that you've really shared a case story, you've thought through the story, you've put some work into it. You know, if you're going to sit down and write a really good blog post, for anybody that writes, or a long Instagram caption, that doesn't just come out quick. I mean, it takes 30 minutes, it takes an hour, it takes an hour and a half. So that's what I mean. Like, not just like hitting record and just throwing out stuff. I believe that going into 2020 and beyond, across the board, all social media platforms, back in the day, if you were first, you could win, but that's changed. Now you need to be best. Quality is, I believe, more important than quantity in 2020 and beyond. I learned this from studying SEO. Early on, you look back at 2010, people that do search engine optimization would just spam like 40,000 articles on a website to have high volume to get a website to rank. And it kind of tricked Google. It'd be just these VA or just computer generated blog posts because there was so much volume with keywords, and that would get you on the first page of Google. That does not work anymore. That was just like a being first, throwing something against the wall, trying to hack the system. Well, now these platforms are maturing. So across the board, this is something we should consider. Like, wow, it seems like the bar is raising. It is, but you can rise to the occasion, take a breath, sit down and put out your best work. Pursue mastery, pursue excellence. In the beginning, if you were first, you would win, but now you got to be best to win.
For sure. How long should each video be?
I lost your audio a little bit.
Can you hear me?
I can slightly. It's like a faint.
What?
It's still strong for me on my end, so I don't know if your mic got like slightly.
I didn't touch anything. Is that better?
I could barely hear you. I got my gain hooked up. Like if I get a notification, it'll like blow out my ears.
That's weird. Hold on. This has never happened
Check
before.
1, 2.
I don't know. My output's at 100%.
Are you getting, like, when you look at your little Zoom mic, that it's going really full with green?
No, it's not. Yes. It's like halfway.
Okay. So then. Okay. So hang on. Maybe it is on my end. Let me try one second. If this doesn't get feedback, I might be able to switch. Go ahead.
How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We're good.
Yeah. Do you have any feedback? Because I just put you on my speakers. Maybe.
No, I hear you fine. Can you hear the people outside that decided now would be a good time to blow leaves and grass and stuff?
I can't.
Sweet. Okay. I'm like, really? You come now?
I know
All
that
right.
always happens. Is
Right?
it actually? I got you great now too. Does it sound all good? I mean,
Yeah.
we'll be able to edit and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Lizzie's
Perfect.
on it. We're good.
Great.
Okay. So how long should each video be then?
All right. As far as video length goes, the overall rule is videos should be as long as they need to be, but as short as possible. And what I mean by that is just trim the fluff. And so if it's just a quick video, that's maybe got a little story, a little bit of value, just like get to the point, share the story, share the value. But if the video should be 10 minutes, then at 30 minutes, it's probably too long. But if you're doing a training and you pull out a whiteboard and it should take 45 minutes to get through the training, well, if it takes 55, that's fine. But if it takes 2 hours, it might be kind of boring. So just kind of a thing is, time is very important. People want, it to be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. And so really being, attentive to trimming the fluff. We've also seen that there is kind of a sweet spot between 7 to 12 minutes. I mean, that's definitely kind of what people like on YouTube. And then here's actually a tactic, like something people can consider. We really recommend people use YouTube as a search engine. And try to rank videos in search. And when doing so, you should go look at the keywords that you want to rank for. Like, let's say you would teach people how to be productive. You might go to YouTube and type in how to be productive, look at what shows up. What you should do is study the videos that currently rank and then ask yourselves, why are those the videos on the first page of YouTube? Therefore, what you might notice is that all the videos that rank are 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes, and none of them are an hour and a half. None of them are 90-minute webinars about productivity. Then what that might tell you is, okay, if I'm going to kind of go after influencing a certain thought, a certain topic, that I should make videos around that same length. Furthermore, it might be like how to build a resume or something. Maybe you help people with career advice. And you go find out that actually all the top videos are like 40 minutes because they're very in depth and they're very educational. Well, then that's probably the kind of videos. You can always do something opposite, but that's just a kind of a barometer. It's like a metric to see, what is it going to take to deliver on the intent of the person looking for information. That's what you're after. Like, what is it they really want? And when someone is if it's going to help them balance their taxes or figure out their taxes or maximize deductions, they're probably sitting down with a notebook ready to get to work. And so they might, it might take an hour to teach all that. Great. And so those are just a few tips. I think shorter also, final tip would be when you're just starting out, shorter is better because people are just getting to know you and you haven't built trust yet. So if you can just drop some content quick, wow, there was no fluff and he got right to the point. And then over time, some of the most viewed videos on my channel right now, or rather the most engaged with, I have a couple of videos where YouTube tells me the average view duration, like out of all the people that watch the video, the average view duration of the video is over an hour, around an hour and 10 minutes. Why? Because I've got content out there that's building trust. And once people see that I'm good for it, they see that, wow, he's got some valuable insights, then that video eventually gets suggested to them by the YouTube algorithm and they stick around. It's around a 3-hour Q&A I did. So the average person sticks around for over an hour, which minutes matter most on YouTube. That's just like, YouTube loves it. They want people time on platform. They want people to be on the platform for a long time because their business is selling ads. So that's good when they can show advertisers, look, people love YouTube. They treat it almost like traditional media. They're just hanging out here. So that's longer though when someone has built trust with me. I know you, if you find I look for something, I meet someone brand new, I don't know who they are yet, I don't know their credibility, I'm not spending 3 hours with them. I'm looking for some quick hits, quick tips. So it's kind of a range. Those are kind of a mix of tips. Start with small videos. 7 to 12 minutes is kind of a sweet spot. Videos should be as long as they need to be, but as short as possible. And then long form content once you've built trust.
Cool. So you mentioned that YouTube is a search engine. That's one of my favorite things about the platform. My whole thing is Pinterest. And so that's why I love Pinterest. It's a search engine. So can you explain SEO on YouTube?
Yes. And so one of the reasons why I love, and Pinterest is really the only other one, those are the only two social networks that are search engines and search platforms. And why I love YouTube is because I view other social media, even though I use almost all the platforms, as the social media hamster wheel. They're all content feeds. They are just like content monsters. Like we grew up with Sesame Street, there was Cookie Monster. Now these other social media networks are like content monsters, like feed me, feed me, feed me. You got to post 4 times a day. And because it's a feed, when you post today, nobody looks at that post in 2 weeks, 2 months, or especially 2 years. But the opposite is true on Pinterest and YouTube. Whereas when you put out high value content, that's why I say a significant post once a week, because the significance of a significant post is that someone might watch that in 6 months, 8 months, or 12 months. It's not throwaway content. It's not a quick live stream to just encourage people today and it's here today and gone tomorrow. So the aspects of that are twofold. One, you want to answer specific questions. What are the top questions that your target audience is asking? We call these keywords. What are the search terms? And you want to answer specific questions. You might start with the first 10 YouTube videos you do are the most frequently asked questions you get about your business. And you do some keyword research to figure out maybe how to word those. But even if you don't do that, you'll be off to a great start to answer the frequently asked questions. So write those down.
How do you do keyword research on YouTube for someone who's
Probably
brand new?
one of the best ways to just get into keyword research on YouTube is to go to the YouTube search bar and start typing and guessing what kind of questions your audience would ask. Now, what happens when you start typing on YouTube or Google?
It autofills just like
It autofills.
Pinterest. Yeah.
Just like Pinterest. So that autofill is actually keyword research insights for you, because what it does is it finishes your sentence. So if you say how to lose, it'll finish your sentence and say weight. Now, that's a keyword phrase, how to lose weight. If you had a fitness channel of some kind, or fitness, content, or cooking, or supplements, or network marketing, or weight loss, whatever you're doing, that would be good, but it's also too general. So if you put another space after that, it'll say how to lose weight fast. And you put another space, it'll finish. Then it might say how to lose weight fast without exercise.
Hmm.
Because who doesn't want that? I mean, that's like,
Right.
that's like the top search term. I mean, that's, you're like, and but it'll predict like 5 to 10 search terms in order. If you go do that right now, you'll actually be seeing insights of what people are searching. And if it's at the top, it's the most searched on YouTube. But if it's at the bottom, it's the least, because YouTube is just studying the collective intelligence of the world and saying, this is what people are looking for. These are the topics people want. So that's giving you insights right there. And you're already off to a major start if you create content around that phrasing, those search terms. You go, what are people typing in? What are they searching for? Use auto predict to give you insights into that. And then, of course, we've got like you could go deeper with other tools, but a lot of times that's where I get started as far as keyword research. Now, the other thing about YouTube, though, that is very powerful is that search is actually not the number one traffic source on YouTube.
Really?
The number one traffic source on YouTube is suggested videos. So the biggest power on YouTube is actually getting your content to essentially be sucked into the algorithm and to have YouTube promote your content for you. What happens is when you've got, now there's some new metrics. If you've got a good click-through rate, which means you wrote a good title and a great thumbnail and the video is very interesting. If you've got a lot of watch time on your video, if you've got a good average view duration, meaning people don't click in and go, man, she's taken so long to get to the point, I'm out of here. But she's hooked at the beginning. She watches the content because you're delivering that value. And then you end quick and she like finishes the video and she watches all 5 minutes, all 7 minutes. Wow. Now you have a good average view duration. And then if you have good session time, if you're keeping people on platform, this is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of marketers make, and a lot of old school thinking direct marketers make with YouTube right now, is we constantly want to send people away from the platform. We constantly want to like deliver some value and then give a freebie. Deliver some value, build our email list. Deliver some value, go to our website. Deliver some value, go buy our network marketing product. That is a huge mistake if you actually want YouTube to work for you, because session time means time on platform. It means people are staying on YouTube longer. So if YouTube constantly sees that, yeah, you actually keep people on a video, but they watch the 5-minute video and they always leave. What you want to do is your call to action at the end of your YouTube video should be another YouTube video. And you should be giving, it's not that you should never call people away from the platform. How do I build my business? Of course, you have to do that eventually, but you should do it less. And I'm saying to the tune of maybe 1 out of 10 times, which means in a way, like for anyone who study marketing and you think of almost like an email nurture sequence, think of YouTube as a nurture sequence. You want someone to hang out and watch 4 videos with you, 8 videos with you, 12 videos with you. They're getting to know you. Your vibe attracts your tribe. They're getting to get value from you, hang out with you. And then eventually you might say, hey, join me and check me out somewhere else. Now, people are going to jump right in other ways to your business, but that's really how you maximize YouTube right now. And when you put out content like that, YouTube will tell you, there's now new analytics in the YouTube Studio Beta that'll say this video got 10,000 impressions, and 50% of those impressions, meaning they just had a chance to click on it, those came from YouTube recommending your content. So that's not search. That's from YouTube putting you on the homepage, putting you in suggested videos, putting you at the end of other videos, putting you in clusters of channel playlists. That's why it's important to have a niche. You want YouTube to know what you're talking about so they know where to promote you and how to promote you. This is a big deal. So when you start putting out content right, YouTube will blow up. This is how videos go viral. They don't go viral from search. They go viral because YouTube is like this spider web of a network that is analyzing its viewers and wanting to recommend content that the viewers will watch, consume, enjoy, keep them on the platform that they can serve ads on. man, you master that and you've tapped into one of the most powerful forces on the planet called YouTube and its algorithms.
Okay, so you can become one of those recommended videos if you have a good quality video that's keeping people on your channel longer, right? Is that
Correct. Good click-through rate, good average view duration, good watch time. Yes.
okay? And then when it comes to SEO, so you mentioned having it in the title. What about the description and the tags?
So now we're learning that tags matter a lot less, if almost not at all. However,
Really?
what I've learned is that some people have thrown the baby out with the bathwater. And I've learned that by still doing extensive keyword research and essentially getting very clear on your tags, you're better positioning your content. So we still use tools like vidIQ to then see where our video ranks according to tags. Here's the question: did the tags influence the ranking, or are the tags evidence that you understood the intent of the viewer, created content around that, and therefore are being rewarded by your video ranking for that? So what I would, to put that in other words, it would be to say that when I recently did a video about a specific firmware update, which means, there's a camera that had some autofocus problems that was very dramatic in the industry. People were like, I can't believe I spent my money on this. But then Canon released a firmware update. So I jumped on that. So I did my keyword research, finding tags like Canon G7X firmware update, Canon G7X firmware. And I wanted to make sure that I was speaking the language, and we teach research before you press record. So I was doing all my research, finding the relevant tags, what the various angles people were searching for it. So I optimized my whole video. And then when I released it, I was brief, I was bright, I was fun, I was done. And it was a 10-minute video, and I talked about that new firmware update. Then the video ranked. Did it rank because of the tags, or did it rank? And by the way, it's the title that is the weight. Like, keywords still in the title is a huge deal. It's just that keywords in the tags is less influence. And so now it ranks for 60 to 80% of the tags that I use. Again, I still absolutely invest in SEO, meaning the right tags, using keywords in the description. That's, I guess, the final point to make is that it's just kind of older SEO thinking that it's about optimization because of you're winning. It's much more about the content and the intentionality of the content to deliver the exact thing people are looking for. Another example would be, you might throw out, you want to get much more specific. The more specific and the more long tail you can be, which should then shape how specific your content is. It's not make some content and then try to position it specifically later. This is why you research before you press record. You know exactly what the viewer wants to see, the exact problem. Let's say you help people fix their WordPress websites, and you say, you're trying to make a video about how to manually install WordPress plugins. Well, how to manually install WordPress plugins is different than how to install WordPress plugins, because you don't always have to do it manually. That little nuance is everything, because the intent of the viewer is looking for something very specific. So you want to then dominate that specific intent, which still comes back to keyword research. It still comes back to knowing exactly what it is people are looking for. And then from there, putting out that video. And then I believe tags, and what I'm seeing from all of our tests, is then it's evidence that your process was effective, that you created great content, you titled your video well, you have a great thumbnail, the click-through rate is strong, people like the video, etc. And then your tags go, great, this mission accomplished. If they don't rank, you can always come up to bat another day to swing again, and actually even go after some of the same keywords maybe a month later, a couple months later, if that makes sense. So we're in some pretty deep stuff here. You're going for it.
I am going for it. So you mentioned something that I wanted to touch on. So you don't just open up your camera and shoot a video. You actually do the research, come up with the title, the topic, and all of that before you create your video, correct?
Yes, that is a quintessential distinction between those, I believe, that succeed or fail on YouTube.
Huge.
And it's very counterintuitive, because especially too, I mean, if we take a step back from some of this analytical, tactical stuff, which is amazing, I know that you have a lot of heart-centered, purpose-driven girl bosses that follow you that are intuitive, emotional, that are speaking from the heart. And all of that's very important. But a lot of times where you might come from when that's the case is it's what's on your heart, what's on your mind, what do you want to talk about, what do you want to share, which is great. And again, if we go back to people are subscribing just to hear your thoughts and connect with you, cool. And then you need to build up your influence around that. And maybe they just want to come back to hear you gush or hear you pour into them. But when we're talking about getting discovered and we're talking about ranking videos, you actually kind of need to take a step back and say, what is the market asking for? And how do I reverse engineer content so that I can get discovered for some of these things? And then I can meet the people that I'm called to reach that I want to reach, and then eventually have a chance to pour into them from that side. So for a lot of people, it's like, okay, I feel like shooting this video today. I hit record, I feel like shooting it. I want to talk about this, and they shoot it. And then they sit down and they go, okay, so what should I title this? And what tag should I use? And now it's going to be very difficult because you did not start with the end in mind. You did not research before you press record. You recorded first, and now you're doing the research. By getting those steps out of order, it causes a lot of people to stay stuck when it comes to breaking through on YouTube.
That's huge. Okay, you mentioned vidIQ. Can you tell us about that? And you said it's not super relevant anymore, or you're still using it?
Oh, I still use vidIQ I use vidIQ for a lot of things. So vidIQ is actually a tool people can use. We actually have an affiliate link for it, vidiq.com/think, that gets through 30 days free. There's a free version that everyone should use because it's completely free. So vidiq.com /think. And that tool, it does a lot of things that I use it for. First of all, it's got a keyword research tool that shows you YouTube search volume. Rare, because a lot of keyword research tools are showing you Google search volume, somewhat valuable, but vidIQ, so you go into the back end of the website and it tells you search volume on YouTube, very powerful, and what keywords on YouTube specifically to focus on. It also tells me things, especially once you get some subscribers, about what time of day your subscribers are online. So it tells you when to upload videos. So I just uploaded a video this morning at 4 a.m. I didn't have to get up early. I schedule uploaded the video, but the reason I picked the time is I picked it right before the peak of when my subscribers are online. I saw that Tuesdays have been a little low right now. Wednesdays and Thursdays are higher. So I'm giving my video the best optimal time of when my subscribers are online right before the peak, a couple hours before the peak, so I can ride the wave of when they're online. I use vidIQ for that. vidIQ also shows me tags and video velocity. Video velocity is how quickly videos are getting views. It's got a really cool feature where you can look at trending videos on competitors' channels. And so one of the best ways to come up with strategic video ideas is going to a competitor's channel, looking at their trending page that vidIQ shows you, and it'll show you videos that are getting views every hour. VPH, views per hour. Let's think about that. It's so powerful. Imagine if you had a video in your business that's getting 5 views an hour, 10 views an hour. At any given time, Think Media gets 2,000 views every single hour. That's why I love
Amazing.
YouTube. It's like this machine building my business. Why I get to hang out with you? Why we get to hang out, on the She's Making an Impact podcast. And I've got my YouTube channel working for me. I feel like these videos are like employees I pay once, but then work for me for weeks, months, and years to come.
Yep.
And so when I study out what videos are trending on another person's channel that have velocity, not because that person released a new video. I don't look for a video that's out in the last couple days or weeks. I look for someone's video. It's a year old, it's 6 months old, it's 2 years old, and it's getting 10 views an hour. What you should do, if it's in the same niche as you, is make a video about the same topic.
Hmm.
Why? If they're in the same niche, people are consistently hourly interested in that exact thing. You're not copying the video, you're making your own spin on the video. So then I view that video as almost like a freight train that's got all this momentum, and you creating a similar video is like throwing a grappling hook at the freight train to try to siphon off some of those suggested views. Meaning by the way, some of these cooking channels or some of these bigger niches, videos are getting 1,000 views an hour, 500 views an hour. So then you go, okay, well, I could do a chicken recipe meal prep video for keto. And you're like, oh, that's the idea. I could totally do that. Now you want to get in that cluster of suggested videos. And even if that video is getting 300 views an hour, yours might get 3 an hour. I mean, every 10 hours, that's 30. and I'm not good at math. So it's like, I don't know, it's 30, 60, 66 views a day, building your business on autopilot for you. Anyways, vidIQ is that tool that has a lot of cool things. It's got a channel audit feature that, a lot of this already is pretty analytical, could be overwhelming. It's very technical. They have a channel audit feature, which dumbs down all the analytics in the back end. And it says content to double down on, content to stop doing.
Huh.
They like, it'll also show you things to fix. This video needs a playlist. This video needs an end card. So just a lot of it's a kind of an enterprise level suite of tools for people that are serious about growing their influence on YouTube.
Cool. Can you talk about monetization? So you got YouTube ads,
Yes.
you do a lot of affiliate stuff.
Yeah, I mean, now we've got like 13 different income streams in our business. That's
Amazing.
not where you should start as well. But we just did a mastermind in Las Vegas. And for the first time, I was kind of breaking these all down. So when it starts out, I think affiliate marketing is the best way to start, because in order to get YouTube ads, you need 1,000 subscribers and 40,000 hours of watch time within 12 months time. That's tough to get, but that doesn't mean you can't start influencing or making money on YouTube, because you could do that almost immediately with affiliate marketing. So that's how I started. I got approved for the Amazon Associates program, started talking about tech. People could do this about yoga. They could do, Amazon sells everything. You also could do different types of affiliate programs. I have a video. If you type in on YouTube, best greens powder, you'll find my video in the top ranking spots. It's about 3 years old. It's on my personal channel where I do more lifestyle stuff. And it's a green juice powder that you mix with water. It's called Organifi. So I talk about the video. It's like a product review. And then I say, hey, if you want to check it out, there's a link in the description below. If someone clicks that link and purchases it, I actually get a 30% commission on the sale. If someone subscribes and says, this is great, I want this every month, I get continuity. Every single month, I get 30% on the sale. So that video has generated around almost $10,000 in the last 3 years. One video ranks in search, as we discussed on the power of search, through affiliate marketing. It's probably generated around $1,000 in AdSense in that time. So think about that correlation. That's great, but it's taken years for it to make $1,000, but it's made 10,000 through affiliate marketing. So much, much more powerful. Now we have YouTube ads, affiliate marketing. That's it. We go Amazon affiliates, other affiliate programs. Having a digital course, one of the absolute best things, especially between now and 2025. A lot of people have been talking about the Forbes article that says that e-learning, the industry, is going to be basically $1 billion a day industry by 2025, a day.
A day.
And this is people
crazy.
that right. We've got people like in our inner circle program, people like that are in the homeschool niche. We've got people that are doing an eye doctor who's doing eye health. We've got naturopathic physicians, people that are doing how to declutter your house, travel hacks. We've got Cowboy Kent Rollins, who's a cooking channel, but it's for, he cooks on a multi-1,000-pound grill. They have to start a fire. All these different people tapping into the e-learning industry because people want to learn. That education shifting, it's changing. Selling on stage is something we do. Obviously, our YouTube channel has got me on stages. We have a membership site, coaching, one-to-one, JV partnerships where we partner with somebody else. And if we promote their product or offer, a lot of times you maybe get 50% on that. So it could be very powerful. Getting paid to speak, doing brand deals, working directly with companies. Once you've built influence, they want to work with you. We now have our own live event. So live event tickets or big or small events, our own mastermind. We have a book out, book sales, ebook, Audible, and physical. So lots of different income streams.
Remind us how long you've been doing this, because when people hear that, they're like, what?
So I've been doing this for 4 years, and there was 10 before that of the side hustle. So
Amazing. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So talk to us about thumbnails. How do we create a killer thumbnail that actually gets people to want to watch the video?
So thumbnails are so important, and let's remember this phrase: a picture speaks 1,000 words. So you want your title and thumbnail work together. So what is your title saying? You want that to be powerful. And for a lot of people in your community, maybe they have written blogs or read blogs or they have a podcast, whatever it is. You want a headline. You want to think of your title like a headline, like a newspaper headline, or like a headline on the cover of a magazine, like you're at the grocery store and Cosmopolitan's trying to get your attention, Home Goods, or Country Living, they're trying to get your attention, like 31 budget ways to decorate for Thanksgiving this year. Like one of the best places to get YouTube titles is probably a grocery store, aisle while waiting, because you have high paid marketers and writers thinking about these headlines. That's what you want your title to be. Next, your thumbnail then should complement that. And we've been experimenting a lot. Sometimes people, especially in kind of the how-to niches, you're putting a lot of words in your thumbnail. What you don't want to do is you don't need to just repeat your words in your thumbnail in your title. You might not need any words in your thumbnail. In fact, it's even better if you say 31 ways to decorate on a budget for Thanksgiving this year, that you just have like a beautiful picture of a table setting of Thanksgiving. And maybe you're in it, maybe you're not. Or maybe, and then if you do use words, you don't need to repeat all the words, but you might just use a couple. So you might do like 31 budget decor ideas. So like a 4 words, the number, and 3 words complementing the title. I would say that what can happen is we focus all of our time on creating the video, and we either don't have much time left or we're exhausted by the time it comes to doing some of these other things. But you don't want to cut corners here, because content is king, the video itself, but marketing is queen, and she runs the household.
I like that.
Yeah. So that title, that thumbnail, how you promote it, how you share it on social, the keyword research, all the things we said, that stuff may not even be stuff you'd love to do, but you care so much about your content, and you've invested so much into that content. Don't cut corners on, if you will, the marketing, the positioning of the video. So invest some time in good photography and good titles.
Okay. You mentioned JV partnerships as one of your income streams. Could you do some like partnerships on YouTube with someone who has maybe like higher follower count than you?
You could. JV partnerships we typically do are in, the space of those that have events or products or coaching. And we use YouTube as a way of sending traffic when they're in the launch season of giving out free content or whatnot. And that's about the extent we do it. On YouTube, if you collab, I'd call it more of collaborations. And you might do a business collaboration of some kind, like it's going to be structured in some way, and I'll shout you out, or we'll do this. But it's usually not, I will say, it's usually not with other YouTubers. And that actually kind of breaks my heart. It's one of my passions that I do, is actually, I think a lot of YouTube focused creators and even YouTube focused entrepreneurs are unaware of all of the opportunities there are to build their business. They're usually very highly creative, highly focused on videos themselves, highly focused on AdSense. And that's where we see a huge part of our mission, is actually helping those that are highly creative really learn how to build a real business and a highly profitable business underneath that influence.
Awesome. Okay, so I see on Facebook captions on videos. Do you see that on YouTube at all? Would you recommend having captions on YouTube videos? Would that help or hurt?
The nice thing on YouTube is, well, and Facebook as well, is that Facebook allows you to, it does the auto generate captions, which is nice because it's fast. And then if you just want to go in, you can go into the video and fix them even faster. And that's a free way to do it. It takes a little bit of your time. YouTube is similar. It auto generates captions. You could go in, fix them because it's going to make mistakes, and then actually make it a proper caption file. We use rev.com, rev.com. It's $1 a minute. So a 7-minute video would cost $7, and we get professional captions done, and we upload that file. And because it's embedded in the platform, that's what we prefer, because people can turn them on and off. We only embed captions in the actual video across social media, kind of that stereotypical meme format looking Instagram video or IGTV. and platforms like that. But as far as YouTube and Facebook, we lean on their captioning integration.
Got it. So, as you grow your channel, would you recommend getting sponsors for your channel? And if so, how would you go about finding those sponsors?
So I depends on your business model and your vision. On the one hand, early in this talk, I mentioned wanting to be, a player coach in the industry, meaning I want to help people with YouTube, but I want to be on the actual field playing the game. So it's been my passion to experiment in a lot of these different income streams. We mentioned that big list. Not only have I been doing it for a while, I'm not even saying that's wise, because I think that if you try and chase two rabbits, you end up catching neither. If you try and chase 13, it's going to be even harder. So it's really good to double down on what's working. But I have wanted to play in the different areas, so I had some experience. So we've worked with Canon and Amazon and DJI. I think the biggest key to working with sponsors is to focus on influence first and focus on influence longer than you even think you need to. The more you build your actual influence, subscribers, viewership, your tribe, a loyal tribe, 1,000 true fans, then your whole world becomes very abundant and people will want to work with you. You still maybe need to reach out, but it's negotiation's going to be much easier. You can push and negotiate and try to land deals on the climb, but it's much harder. So focus on influence first. Secondly, I know it depends on your industry. Like, again, my friend Benji and his wife Judy, co-author of YouTube Secrets, Benji Travis, their whole business is brand deals and working with sponsors. Like, it's the majority of their income because of the fact that they kind of have entertainment lifestyle content that has brand integrations in their content that is incredibly powerful for them as an income stream. Now, there's a couple weaknesses to that is you always are waiting on the next one and you're always at the mercy of the market and whatever's going to be happening next. So lately, I've been prescribing more to the philosophy, if possible, to actually do less brand deals for a couple reasons. One, I like freedom. And every time I do a brand deal, I have a boss. If I do 3 brand deals at once, I've got deadlines, I've got things to deliver on. So I like having that freedom myself. I've also we've began to test the difference between sponsoring videos with someone else's brand or sponsoring with their own products and programs. Same thing. You might not have your own products and programs. Well, then what you do have is influence and brands will pay you for it. But if you will even consider the fact that they're going to pay you for it, then you really maybe want to ask the fact, well, if they're going to pay you for it, why don't you pay yourself while keeping people in your own world? And so, for example, we're going to be launching a podcast and a video podcast in 2020. I believe that one of the best strategies, period, is to launch a video podcast via a signature show in 2020. Because that if it's video, it can live on YouTube and it can also be on all the audio platforms. Signature show, podcast, weekly, whatever it is. And I look to like a Brennan Burchard and a Chalene Johnson, 2 huge influences in my life. They sponsor their own show. Mm-hmm. So every once in a while, Brennan almost never does it. Chalene probably almost barely does it, but they have built their influence, but it leads into their own world. They've got their own products, programs, and events. And they've been huge mentors. So we're really following their footsteps. For example, we cover CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, each year in Vegas. We put out almost 30 videos. We cover the latest tech, latest cameras, latest accessories, smartphone accessories. And we have pursued brands in the past. And this is, how do you reach out? Just foursome tactics. We say, we're going to do 30 videos. Here's the estimated reach. Maybe we have a relationship with them before. Maybe I've shook someone's hand at an event or a conference or a trade show. I went to their booth, introduced myself. There's agencies that can make the introductions for you. There's sites like famebit.com that introduce brands to creators and creators to brands, famebit.com. It's just different people. The more you network, your network is your net worth. So if you're in the industry, word spreads, a lot of things. And so we would pursue these brands. They would pay us money and we'd send them traffic. But we started to think, like, we have our own gear guide where we build our own email list while giving out a gear guide of our top recommended tech that leads to our own affiliate links. But more than that, builds our own email list. And so if we're measuring LTV, lifetime value, and we're even thinking about CAC, cost of acquisition of like customers and whatnot, and we just think through something like CES, this year we're like, let's sponsor ourselves. And there's a hard cost because we hire a team. We have people that help us shoot. We got to go down, buy everybody's food every day, register, whatever. And so we would quote unquote go negative by not having a sponsor pay us to go to the event. But then the entire time, all of that content, we have creativity to use it for what we want, to send people to our webinars, our trainings, our email lists. So that's kind of the option. And I'm lately learning to building kind of the Think Media empire and doing less brand deals. And then here's the thing: the more leverage we create, though, in the Think Media empire, the more we're worth and the more we have really negotiation power. I mean, when in negotiation, it's all about who has the most leverage. And so by not being dependent or desperate or reliant on any brand, we can be more selective and lob out even prices. We'd love to work with you. Great, pay us this much because we know what this is even worth. And they might say no. And we go, great. We didn't want, we'll just do it. We're fine without you. Or awesome. You really can hit some bigger numbers. So even at the stage of having quite a bit of influence, we're still focusing on building our influence even more, as well as doubling down on really sponsoring our own content.
I like that. If you're bilingual, would you suggest creating all of your content in the language other than English?
I think that you have to ask yourself, who's your target audience? And so you have three options. You could create a YouTube channel that has, like, let's say English and Spanish on it. You could create a YouTube channel that has both, or you could create a YouTube channel that has only Spanish. You should not do number one, because if it has English and Spanish, never upload a video your subscribers didn't subscribe for, unless they're bilingual. So unless you said my target audience is also bilingual, which is, I don't know if that would be very common, but if that was your vision, then at least you're clear. You'd say, look, like, this is a bilingual channel. Like, this literally, that's the vision. And because that's so rare, the problem would be people who speak English subscribe, and then they're annoyed by every other upload that they don't understand, or vice versa. And so then you have the option of English only or Spanish only. And then you have a question of, do I want to be really a big fish in a small pond, or potentially a small fish in a bigger pond? Because I actually think one of the biggest opportunities right now is non-English YouTube channels. Maybe there's less viewers, but there's less competition in many cases. Conversely, maybe your ambition and vision is to make the biggest global impact possible on YouTube right now. That's still going to probably be English. So you have to make that strategic decision based out of kind of those three scenarios.
Got it. What's the best book you've read?
The best book I've personally read is the Bible.
Ooh, I like it. Me too.
The second best book I've ever read, it's impossible to answer, actually. There's so many good books, but I'm going to lean on 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
That's such a good one.
By John Maxwell.
Such a good one. I love John Maxwell. Oh, did you know he has a leadership Bible?
Yes, I have it right next to me.
Me too. Oh, so cool. What does it mean to you to make an impact?
To me, to make an impact, I think is just service of others. We're talking about the Bible, and I heard Jesus say once, if any of you desires to be great, let him become your servant. And what was interesting about that, especially for Christians, they trip out about this. They say, oh, you shouldn't desire to be great. You shouldn't pursue more. It's bad to have ambition. But we actually never saw that condemned by Jesus. But what we saw is he said, if any of you desires to be great, insinuating that it's actually a great desire. If any of you desires to be great, then you should serve. And this was, I believe, right around the time where he washed his disciples' feet, which no matter what your background or faith is, it's just kind of just this famous story where you think, wait a minute, like the leader himself, the king, the one that everyone should follow and serve, is modeling what we call servant leadership by serving others. So I think that it's using your gifts, talents, and abilities to serve humanity. That's what I really believe making an impact is, and having service at the core of everything you do. That's also why I believe we can prosper in a major way as business owners. But the reason we prosper is it's in the correlation of the amount of value and service we provide to others. I also think that impacts legacy. That's probably one of my favorite words. I want to leave a legacy. In fact, I've adopted John Maxwell. I was like, okay, what's my long-term vision? What's my end-of-life vision? I was like, well, I don't know if I have one. Let me just take his. And one of the things he says is, at the end of my life, I want those closest to me to love and respect me the most. And this impacted me so much because I've seen the side of unhealthy ambition, where there can be ambition and success at any cost, which is very toxic. And I've seen, whether I have a lot background in ministry and church, where you can have great public success, but yet maybe your home life or your marriage or your kids or your friendships suffer. And where maybe you could have the admiration of the crowds, you have lost the respect of the people that matter most. So for me, at the end of my life, I want to leave a legacy, and I hope to make a big public impact, but not at the expense of, at the end of my life, I want those closest to me to love and respect me the most.
Oh, that's so good. Man, I love that. Okay, I asked you so many questions. Do you think there's anything I missed? Anything you want to add?
I'm an open book, but it's been quite the interview.
Well,
Eh,
thank you so much. Where can we connect with you, learn more about you?
Yes, SeanCannell.com is my website. That's Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel. And yeah, and that's SeanCannell. You'd probably never figure that one out audibly without the spelling. So I'm on social media, would love to help anybody anywhere. We've got resources on the website. I did mention, I think one of the coolest resources we have is that Think Gear Guide. And people say, what should I start with? And the cool thing is, I think people should just start with their phone to be creating video content. But lighting, audio, a few accessories to the tune of like $60 to $100 worth of accessories can really take your video game to another level, no matter what platform you're on. So we have a gear guide for free at thinkgearguide.com. The word think, the word gear, the word guide.com. And really cool. We go through, if you want to invest $1,000, you want to invest $4,000 and be crispy and look like some of the best stuff out there. Maybe you've already got a team or a business, you've got people helping you. We just cover all the different budget levels. And that's one of the ways we want to help people, is helping them find the best tips, the strategies, as well as the best tools, all the gear, live streaming accessories, all the technical questions, the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. Look us up, Think Media on YouTube, SeanCannell.com. We'd love to help.
Cool. We'll put all that in the show notes. Sean, thank you so much for adding massive value to my people today. I really appreciate it.
Rachel, thank you. Really grateful to be hanging out with you and your tribe today.